Hello, Noose Little Podcast listeners. Allow me a moment to promote our new official Noose Little Theater merchandise. This can be bought at any show we have. And as you come see, you can go up to the merch table and ask the man or lady, and you can get your official NLT merch. Here's what we have. We have hats, toboggans, hoodies, t-shirts, long sleeve t-shirts, and we even have big and tall sizes. Just ask the person and they'll set you right up. We also have blankets, pins, key change, stickers, tumblers, frosted pint glass, coffee mug, aluminum water bottle, backpack, and tote bags, etc. We have it all. Be sure to check out our special anniversary merchandise, including our t-shirt featuring all the shows of our historic 50th season. Thank you, and thanks for listening. Hello, and welcome to Noose Little Podcast. This is an audio presentation featuring the backstage antics and stories from your favorite log cabin located on the banks of the Noose River in Smithfield, North Carolina. Please help us celebrate our 51st season and purchase tickets on our website, www.nooselittle.org. Don't forget to like and subscribe on the various podcast platforms such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Now please, enjoy the show. Hello and welcome to Noose Little Podcast. We are here with the cast of Anne of Green Gables, which we will introduce in just a minute. I am your host, Matt Gore. That's my producer, Toole.
Hello.
And let's get into it. But first, as usual, we have some community theater news. We are going to talk about some upcoming auditions and upcoming shows in the area, and then we will dive in to Anne of Green Gables. So, we want to give a shout out to Benson Little Theater. Their Villains fundraiser. It's like a musical review where everybody plays the type of villain from a famous musical and sings a song. They're doing a fundraiser for their theater. We got some familiar faces from NLT in there, and that's going to go up October 3rd and 4th. So be sure to go out for that. Only 2 shows for that, October 3rd and 4th. So come out and support Benson Little Theater. I am actually going to be directing a show pretty soon in Goldsboro. I'm doing A Christmas Carol, and the auditions for that are October 13th and 14th. It's going to be a traditional Christmas Carol, and it's the last year they're going to do it. Maybe not forever, but for a while down there in Goldsboro at the Paramount Theater. So if you want to be a part of a Christmas classic, come on out. But NLT has our own Christmas show going up. If you like to celebrate Christmas on Veterans Day, just come on out for one Christmas Eve at Evergreen Mall. And the auditions for that are September 22nd and 23rd, and that will go up in the middle of November. Last thing is, Halloween is approaching, spooky season is upon us, and NLT is going to do something a little bit different. We are going to show a movie at the Hut on October 18th, and it will be a classic horror movie. It will be 1931's Dracula, and that is directed by Todd Browning. It's the classic one you remember with Bela Lugosi. So come down on here and see a movie at the Hut. It's only, I said it was 81 minutes earlier, but it's actually only 75, so this is not a long commitment. So come out here and see a movie at the Old Hut.
Donations at the door.
Donations will be at the door. There's no charge. Probably no popcorn either because none of us want to clean it up. But come and see a movie in the Old Hut, and we'll see how that goes. All right. That's enough of the community theater news roundup. Let's dive into Anne of Green Gables. This is based on the novel by L.M. Montgomery, and the adaptation is by Peter Delorier, and it will go up at the Hut on September 19th, 20th, 21st, 26th, 27th, and 28th. Yes, that is 6 shows for Anne of Green Gables. 3 are already sold out. I'm told that the September 19th show, opening night, is sold out. That's a Friday. And then our 2 matinees on the 21st and 28th are sold out. Those start at 3 p.m. If you have a dying desire to come see the show on that day, check out the website. There's always people that drop out, and always, just keep hitting refresh. There's always been a show where somebody couldn't make it. So if you have a burning desire to see it, you have a good chance. Not 100% chance, but a good chance. All right, I'm going to introduce the cast here. And they've been working for 6 weeks. They both have all of them have that I just sat through or stood through a 3-hour Q2Q face. So they are working hard, and we are going to dive into the show. I'm about to introduce the cast and the director. All right, playing the titular character of Anne, we have back on the podcast Ava. And now is a perfect time for me to forget your last name.
Wilson,
Ava Wilson. You were previously in several summer shows with us at NLT, and is this your first regular show of the season?
I was.
You were in Wizard of Oz,
and I was in Willy Wonka.
Okay, and Willy Wonka.
Yes.
Okay, you played the Good Witch. Can't remember anybody's name.
Glinda,
that one. No, isn't it Galinda? In Wizard of Oz, and now you're making. This is the first time you've kind of had a starring role in one of our main stage shows that's not a summer show. So tell us a little bit about that. Tell us how you sought out the role of Anne. You had some competition, and so tell us that process. How has it been?
It's been really fun. I have always loved the book. I actually, when I found out we were doing this show, I was going through my old books, and I found a copy from my baby shower. My mom asked people to give books instead of cards, and there was one from my baby shower. People had wrote a note in it from 2008, which doesn't sound long ago to y'all, but it does to me because I wasn't born. And
Jesus.
It was talking about me growing up and, like, you know, falling in love with Anne's story as I got older. So I thought that was really cool. I've loved playing Anne. She talks as much as I do, which is a lot. And so it's been interesting to learn all of the lines. I have almost 400 lines in this show.
Count them, did you?
I did. But it has been really good. It's been a really good experience, and the whole cast is very supportive.
Awesome. Well, we should kind of tell everybody what the show is about. I'm sure most have a basic idea, but I had the director Patsy sitting across the table from me, so I might as well let her give us a brief synopsis of Anne of Green Gables.
Yes, well, the first thing I need to say is that there are several different versions of Anne of Green Gables in a play form, but the one that we chose has about 12 to 16 people in the cast, and it was, as you had mentioned earlier, was adapted by Peter DeLaurier, and Mita had found an interesting fact when she was looking through the literature. You want to tell about that, Mita? About why he wrote the adaptation?
Oh, no, because in the script, if you've ever seen a script, if you look at the original cast of the script, he played Matthew.
So his adaptation includes him as Matthew. So that's interesting. So the cool thing about Anne of Green Gables is that it takes place someplace that I guess none of us have ever been. It's Prince Edward Island in Canada, Nova Scotia. And she is an orphan. She lost both of her parents when she was a baby from some sort of a fever. And she's been raised pillar to post. She's been with this washwoman and that washwoman, and then when they couldn't take care of her anymore, she ends up in an orphanage, which in this play they call an asylum, which is unfortunate. But she has been, she's been just this little lost girl, and she has several opportunities to mention how she has not been loved, how she's not been loved. But she is mistakenly taken in by Matthew and Marilla. And they have sent off, they are brother-sister, elderly brother-sister, and they have sent off to the orphanage to have a boy come and help, because Matthew's getting older, and they need a boy to help with the work. And for some reason, the message gets mixed up, and Anne is sent. And Anne is delighted. She's barely touching the ground with her feet. She is so excited that somebody wants her. And she's going to be away from that orphanage, and she's going to belong somewhere. So she is enthralled with all the beauty of Prince Edward Island and the new home that she's going to, only to find out when she gets there that she was a mistake, that they wanted a boy. And Marilla, who has a little bit of an edge to her, she's tough where Matthew is soft. Marilla says, "Oh no, back you go, this is a mistake." Well, Matthew immediately is taken by her and suggests that Anne could be of great help to Marilla. But of course, Matthew's got a soft spot for her. Marilla learns to have a soft spot, and the whole play is not vignettes. I can't really say vignettes, but it seems to me like snapshots of Anne learning to fit in with polite society where she hasn't been before, learning what she can say, what she can't say, being outspoken Anne. She's often asked to reel in what she has said or perhaps apologize for it. And it's the growth. It's the growth of her becoming part of their family and making their lives whole as well as making her own life whole. And along the way, she becomes a stellar student, and she finds probably what we assume is going to be her future husband, is what our guess is, based on where the play ends. Does that about cover it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's basically what Tamara told me on the car ride over. Oh, wait, they're brother and sister? No, they're not married. Okay, I guess I should point that out.
Yeah, everybody wants Matthew and Marilla to be husband or wife, and they're not. It's kind of like the American Gothic.
Let's introduce the two ladies I haven't met. Playing the role of Marilla is, what's your name, ma'am?
Karen Tolliver.
And then playing the role of...
Mrs. Rachel Lind.
Okay, all right. And how is she related to the Matthew and Marilla?
I am their very nosy neighbor.
Gotcha. And are you kind of like the... are you the closest thing to this play that has an antagonist?
Yes.
Sure.
She a little bit reminds me of Aunt March from Little Women.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
When Tamara was giving me the plot rundown on the way over, I asked, I was just like, so is Anne basically like Joe from Little Women? And she's like, no, she's not a tomboy. I'm like, Anne is not a tomboy? So Anne's not a tomboy. You wouldn't describe her as such?
Not really. She's just kind of, she just does whatever she wants for the most part. But
Well,
she's
she
not
has a
really
real
tomboy.
definite idea what a pretty dress should be. So she's much more feminine than other versions I've seen. And this is
Yes.
Kim, by the way.
Yes.
playing-
I'm sorry, I didn't ask you. I apologize. What was your name, ma'am?
Kim Vieira.
Kim Vieira. And this is you two's first time here at News Little Theater?
Yes.
Yes.
Have you done any other plays?
Not since high school and college.
Wow.
All right.
Not since the 4th grade.
Okay. Well, we welcome you. How did you guys get here? We can start with you. How did you get to the Hut here to audition for this play?
Well, my husband and I have come here several times to watch other plays, and we've always been impressed. It's always been a very entertaining, professional production. And I kept saying, I should go up there. I should go up there. I should go up there. So finally I decided I would try, just for the fun of it, So.
Well,
So
welcome.
immediately we gave her like 300 lines.
Oh, okay.
I think she has like the second most lines in the play.
So describe the character of Patsy gave us a little bit, but you get into a little bit more depth. Describe Marilla for me.
Well, Marilla is an old spinster. She's not a bad person. She just doesn't want to be touched, and she doesn't like huggy and kissy people. And she thinks everybody should do what they're supposed to do and stay in their own lane, sort of thing. So when the little girl comes, it's like, okay, what am I supposed to do with this? And she wants to send her back because that didn't fit in her little scheme of how things were supposed to go. But through the time, as the play goes by, they get closer, and she realizes that she can let other people get close to her, I think is part of what happens.
So your whole arc here is that you start out cold, but eventually you melt. And,
Very grumpy.
Yes. Why do you think she's so grumpy to start out? Is it just...
Well, she's a single lady back in those days. No, what later on you find out, I don't know, you can edit the part we're not supposed to tell, but later on we find out that she once upon a time was in love with someone, but it didn't turn out the way she wanted it to. So it could be she's got a little bit of bitterness going on, or maybe she's just a Scottish personality.
She is Scottish?
I don't know that, but that's the way my mother was. That was
Okay, so you're bringing a little bit of that to the table.
Yeah.
Tell me about more your character, Kim, please.
Mrs. Lind loves to give her opinion and advice unsolicited all throughout the play. So I'm always checking in on people's business and giving my 2 cents.
How did you get here to the Hut?
I live right around the corner, and so I have actually a daughter that's in the production with me. She came to try out for Anne, and I just thought, well, if she ended up getting a part, we're close enough, we can just walk over here. It would be super easy, and so maybe it's time that I just try out for fun again, because I haven't done theater in so long.
What do you do for a living?
I homeschool my 5 kids.
I was about to say, I usually don't ask that question, but I mean, it's not that we don't want people to know. It's just, there's other questions to ask. But I was watching you answer that question. I'm like, this lady has teacher vibes.
Well, and that my degree's in secondary English education, so I read aloud to my kids all the time. So I really love getting into the characters. So this has been fun to do.
Well, I'm glad, and it's a very good story for kids to learn. Like if you were a young girl that grew up, you were And boys too. Don't get me wrong. You've heard of Anne of Green Gables. You say there's like time jumps, and you said not vignettes, but it does feel like we're shifting in time very quick.
Yes, it is a gap from about 4 to 5 years.
From 12 to 18. And I like being able to play her because I think she changes so much over the course of the show. But in the beginning, she's definitely more energetic, and she moves around a lot, and she talks a whole lot faster and a lot more. And then as the show goes on, as she learns how to be polite and to fit into society, she changes and becomes more calm and adapts to the world around her. So that's really fun.
What I'm sensing a theme that Anne has a lot of confidence, a lot of confidence in herself. Tell me about let's talk about some of the male cast members. Let's talk about Gilbert Blythe. Who plays Gilbert Blythe?
Caleb.
Oh, what's his last name?
Caleb Humphrey.
Okay. And so he's like your will they or won't they antagonist
Yes.
relationship. Yeah. So what's it like playing off that?
It's fun. Caleb and I we joke that we've played like every possible relationship in the book. We've played best friends on stage. I was Ursula and he was Flotsam in The Little Mermaid one time. We've also played Ariel and Eric in The Little Mermaid. So we've done like everything that you can do on stage together. So this is fun. This is a new one because we get to kind of be at each other's throats at the beginning and then, be good at the end.
It's always good to have a good rapport with somebody in real life, and then you have an antagonistic relationship on stage. Also, let's talk about Kirk Davidson, who plays Matthew. Marilla, tell me about what it's like working with Kirk.
I have enjoyed working with him. He's easygoing, easy to get along with, and we have to share looks and sort of like brother and sister would say things without saying words, and he's really good at doing the eye contact thing. And I think, like you said, he just looks like he should be a Matthew. So
Yeah.
He has bibbed overalls.
Yes,
And he's real proud of them.
and plaid shirt.
Got to look right. So is the character of Diane in this play?
Yes.
All right, tell me about Diane.
So Zoe plays Diana, and
Zoe Pridgeon.
Yes, Zoe Pridgeon, and she is great. She is a really good performer. She's a great actress, and she's always willing to help on stage, whether that's moving a prop or helping out with a line or anything like that. And there's some other friends in the show too. There's Josie, who's Olivia Tolentino, and there is Ruby, who's Kaylee Fairburns, and there is Jane, who's Ella Bocock, and they are all so good. They're all such sweet girls, and I've worked with all of them in the past, and Zoe as well, and they're all really great performers. And then there's also some added classmates in the show, which
And we also need to mention Moody. That's
Oh, yes,
played by
and-
Antonio Gallucci, maybe? I think that's pretty close.
Mine was close. We're going to
he does great too.
And
I don't know if you
he's
wanna talk
new. He's new to the theater, doing a great job.
Talk about what? Say that again?
I didn't know if you wanted to talk about the classmates because one of them is her daughter, but
Okay.
they're really good. So
Yeah, they're all sweet girls. I mean, I don't know for casting wise. I feel like it would have been very difficult when they pulled it down to the final 6. They all did such an excellent job, and so it was so sweet that they allowed a few of these other girls to come in. So Dorothy Vieira is my daughter. I guess they made up little names. So she's Emma, and then Chris. Do you know Chris's last? Polly.
She chose the name Beth, I believe.
And then we have Ryan
Humphrey.
and she is
Becky.
Jenkins or Giant.
Jernigan, sorry.
Ryan Jernigan. But not only do they just bring a little bit more animation to certain parts of the stage, but they have been so helpful backstage, just willing to step in and do anything that needs to be done.
And that's been a huge blessing for us to be almost self-sufficient with our cast as far as the many set changes and scene changes.
Well, we should also mention that our fellow producer here, Mita Toole, is also on stage. Who do you play, Mita?
I play Mrs. Spencer, who's the one who brings Anne to Green Gable or to Avonlea, which basically I have 6 lines and I yell a lot.
Now, is there a scene in the play? Taryn was telling me about there was a scene where Diane accidentally eats.
She drinks cherry cordial.
Okay, is that in the play?
Yes.
Okay, and tell us about that scene because I don't know. It just seems like to me Anne's from an asylum, accidentally almost kills her best friend. I just don't know. Yeah. I'm just kidding. No, but tell me about the cherry cordial because that scene sounded. You get You get to come over and yell at everybody about how Anne can't hang out with them or something anymore.
That's actually
That's Mrs. Barry that does that, and that is Dale Pridgeon playing Mrs. Barry. She's the mother of Diana, and it's an honest mistake. Anne's been given permission to serve raspberry cordial, which is non-alcoholic, but when she doesn't find it, she picks a bottle that she thinks is raspberry cordial.
That she thinks, sure.
And it's
sure.
actually currant wine, and much sickness.
Ava loves it when I try to extrapolate that all her characters have nefarious.
I was going to say, I'm having flashbacks to Wizard of Oz where I was
Yeah.
told that Glinda was the true villain.
I mean, prove me wrong. It sounds like there's a lot of different scenes. You said, what, 12 to 16 or something like that?
I'm sorry.
Different scenes? Yeah.
There's about 9 different locations, I
Yeah.
think, and then there are 20 scenes in Act 1 and
Oh, wow.
15 scenes in Act 2.
Lordy. So that's a lot of scene changes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's boom, 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 boom. I mean, there's
Right.
no, you don't stay anywhere very long. You move to the next day, the next scene, the next place.
It's sounding like a little bit like Anti-Mame, where we're constantly just,
Yeah,
just
a little
running.
bit, yeah.
Like, oh, the scene's only 2 minutes long.
I'm in one scene,
Mm-hmm.
and so I do my scene, I leave, I'm done, and everybody else is running back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just staying out of the way. I went downstairs and just went, nope.
No one has time to get in trouble backstage. No, I'm sorry. Kara, tell me about your favorite scene in the play.
Well, the scene that Marilla grows the most in, I think, is when she accuses Anne of stealing something which turns out she didn't steal. And she had to admit she was wrong. But I also like the scene after Anne saves the baby. And I get to compliment her and actually talk to her more like a person instead of like a little child who's in trouble.
Right, to get on her level for one time. Yeah. What about you, Kim? What's your favorite scene in the play?
I think my book ends, so I like when I come in at the beginning because you get the idea of this very, like, bossy, brusque woman that I am. But then at the end, I get to be a little more playful, and I appreciate that there's a little bit of an arc for me, even though I'm not on stage as much.
It is nice. It is nice when your character has a decent ending. In this play, that sounds kind of truncated. That's a good thing to have. But let's talk about Patsy for a second here. Patsy is the head of this project. She is director, and it sounds like she's doing an excellent job. Let's talk about Ava. You just worked with Miss Patsy. You don't work with anybody else. I'm just kidding. No, it just turns out that you do most of the stuff with Miss Patsy. So tell me about that.
I was going to say, she worked with Sean.
I've worked with Sean twice, and I've worked with Miss Patsy 4 times. Well, actually, she was choreographer for both of the shows that I worked with Sean, so technically I do only work with Miss Patsy.
It's in her contract. It's in her rider.
I am only allowed to do shows with Miss Patsy as the director.
Well, now she was just Princess Fiona in the Clayton version of Shrek, so and I had nothing to do with that.
Wow.
And she was amazing.
Was that Clayton?
Clayton Theatricals.
Yes.
I'm wearing the shirt right now, actually.
I was wondering what CT
Yeah.
stood for. So, popped right out of my head. Miss Patsy. Yes. So tell us about her style. Tell us what she's been doing, and tell us how she's been trying to wrangle all of you with this kind of. It sounds like a challenging show. It sounds like it's not the easiest show we've ever done, and that's fine. It's good to push ourselves, but tell me a little bit more about that.
Miss Patsy's a great director. She is very refreshing in the sense that she keeps in mind what's going on at school and things like that. Like in the summer, she's like, okay, I want you to all have your lines down before you go back to school because I know you're more you can focus more on that now. And then once we go back to school, she's like, okay, I know you're at school. I'm going to keep that in mind. Like she's very empathetic to what's going on, but also she's not just like, well, you're in school, so whatever's fine. Like she's still pushing us to be the best performers that we can on stage, and her blocking is very creative, and she's able to make everything move around where every scene happens seamlessly because they're so back to back. So
yeah, it requires a level of concentration and paying attention that can be difficult to wrangle. Kim, this is your first time doing a show here, right?
Yes.
And so. What is it like coming in for the first time on this moving train and have Miss Patsy being the conductor here?
I think she's been amazing. I've never done a play that happens in such a short span of time when it was like 6 weeks for opening night. I just couldn't believe how quickly we had to move. And she has done a wonderful job, like you said, moving us around the stage. And there are some really difficult scenes where you just have people bouncing all around and props need to be moved and she's been able to visualize it and then help us to see what that should look like so that we can do that accurately on the stage.
Great. And Karen, what would you like to say about Miss Patsy? It sounds like Karen say good things about Patsy.
Well, she's very supportive, and she helps by giving you good suggestions about how you can accomplish what you need to accomplish, as far as like learning the lines or figuring out where you're supposed to be next. And it's pretty confusing with this much action is going on in this show.
Right. Keeping it all in your head. I mean, obviously we have the script to go by, but trying to just keep it all in your head and trying to stay on time and nobody falls to get there. It's a job. So, well, what's your biggest challenge on this, Patsy? Well, it sounds like there was a couple, but tell me like the biggest one where you're like...
The biggest challenge is the fact that the plays that I've directed in the past have been a one-set play, and then this play has numerous locations, a train station, a post office, Mrs. Barry's house, Mrs. Spencer's house, and Mrs. Lynn's house. There's a hotel scene. There is a commencement scene. So, and we no longer have a front drape. But Stephen and Mita have made sure that we have had an amazing traveler, and Stephanie Vieira made the teaser for the traveler, and so we've been able to use that traveler a lot, which is a blessing and a curse because it adds time. It's very quickly and Dot and Chris and Ryan especially have all been great about pulling that traveler and getting it back. And it's critical to the show because the stage is basically at the Avonlea kitchen for Matthew and Marilla. So everything else is happening in front of the traveler or off to the side. So that's been my challenge. I don't know that I had any concept that this play had so many locations in it. So that's been the challenge.
Well, it was on the list for years. I mean, we at least mention every time we talk about upcoming shows for our next season, we always probably throw out Anne of Green Gables, and every time it's like we don't know which version to do, and there's a lot of different settings in the play, which can be a challenge. But I'm glad we finally pulled the trigger on it because it's good to push ourselves as a theater and try to do, and we need to do as many kids plays as we can. We need to try to open it up a little bit more. But the problem is, as me and Mita have talked about on this podcast many times, is there's not that many for like teens, like just teens. What we got, Grease, and then just a handful of other plays, and we can't do a musical every single show. So and there's that too. So we're bereft of choices for plays for just teens, i.e. like The Outsiders or something like that. Anyways, so I think I have everything I need, but if there's anything else you guys want to add about the show, we'll wrap up here, and I'll get this out before your guys' opening night. Anything else?
I don't know that we mentioned Julia.
Oh, that's
Yes.
true.
Our
Julia
Miss Stacy.
Scalisi. Yeah, she's our,
Stacy has the biggest puff sleeves in all of Avonlea. We
That's
love
right.
her so much.
It's Julia, who's now 20-ish, maybe 21 at this point, I'm not sure. So this is, I think, her first grown-up role other than summer camp from all those years, because we've had Julia since she was a fourth grader.
I see that you guys have a helper backstage, Caitlin, who was in Steel Magnolias and Wizard of Oz last year. Did she audition, or did you just kind of like, I need extra help?
Caitlin has been with us every single Saturday, all of August and all of September, and she's been helping Stephen. She helped build the set, and she's been taking notes for him today during this podcast, and she's going to be with us, I think, almost all of the shows. I think there are 2 shows when she can't be with us. Hence the reason that we tried to be self-sufficient. The same thing happened with our David and Daniel. They're going to be with us for the first weekend, but they get to go to Disney World. So they just said, too bad, NLT, we're going to Disney World.
I know, right?
But let me just mention, saving my bacon is Noah Denton. Yeah. He's coming in for that second weekend.
You give them a little bit of responsibility, and all of a sudden they're like, nope, I'm going to Disney World.
I don't.
They're probably upset that they have to go to Disney World.
Yeah,
doing
that sounds like a real bummer.
Yeah.
I'm not sensing any resentment in your voices at all. I could read a room pretty well.
Well, I wasn't asked to go with them, so yes, a little bit better.
Oh, great. I'm like, Jorge, what's up, bro? I'm just kidding. We like to give the Sepulvedas a hard time. They're all good sports. But I'm glad that Noah came in and helped you guys at the 11th hour. That's good. Noah's a good one. Anything else you guys want to say before we send this out into the podcast airwaves?
I'm trying to think if we've missed
Follow
anybody.
at Noose Little Theater on Instagram.
Our next show is going to be another vignette. No, this is not a vignette show. Sorry, you said that. Our next show is going to be early one evening at the Evergreen Christmas Mall. And I'm sure
I do the same thing.
I know. I can't remember. I had the
one
name.
Christmas Eve at Evergreen Mall.
Right. And that's a good play. If you've ever been on the fence about doing a play at Noose Little Theater and you're not sure, kind of like Karen, you've seen some plays here. Maybe I want to try out. That one's a good one because there's roles that require. I don't know how Stephanie's going to do it, but there's roles that require smaller commitment. What do you say?
Yeah, I think everybody plays at least 2 parts. So she's got 4 men and 4 women coming in, and if you ever saw Almost Maine, it's a very similar vignette style. So like all of the scenes are self-contained. However, different from Almost Maine, there are some characters who are in different vignettes. So like the store manager or something's in a couple of them, so that person plays that same part in several vignettes. But yeah, it's when you cut it down that way, it makes it easier to sort of you don't have to be here all the time. It feels like it's like when you're in a 2-hour play, you have to be here pretty much from beginning to end almost. But like with little vignettes, sometimes you can schedule sort of everybody who's in these scenes are here tonight,
right.
Not everybody.
So come all out for that show, and then in the new year we're going to have our musical She Loves Me, which we'll need people for. Sean's directing that one.
Auditions will be in December, but we won't start really working on the show until January. I think maybe I don't know if they'll start music in December and send everybody home with the music, but I know that they're going to audition in December and then start rehearsals in January.
Sounds good. And then after that we have Doubt, and after that we have The Odd Couple, and that will round out our 51st season. We are currently in the process of thinking about our 52nd season. Our play selection committee will meet soon. And if you have a suggestion for a play you'd like to see at Noose Little Theater, please drop us our line at nooselittle.org. We're always open to suggestions. Doesn't mean we'll take your suggestion, but we're always open to suggestions.
I highly recommend emailing us to let us know if there's something that you're interested that you've seen or you've read or you might be interested that you think we would do a good job at. Please let us know, but email it to us, because catching any of our board members during a performance before, during, after, we won't remember.
No, we'll say, like, oh, that sounds great, and then totally forget about it. Not on purpose, just because most of us have ADHD.
Well, I'm usually on the way to doing something else, so usually somebody will stop me and go, da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, oh, yeah, that sounds great, and then it's gone.
No, I'm bad for it. You got to write it down, bro. Okay, now, Ava, all right, I know you have some ideas. What shows do you want to see at Noose Little Theater?
Well, I'm now second guessing Sound of Music, but I would like to do the Sound of Music.
Never heard of it. What's it about? I'm just kidding.
I love the Sound of Music. This is the second time I've mentioned the Sound of Music on the podcast. I don't know if this would be a show at Noose Little Theater, but I've always wanted to do Mean Girls.
I've seen Mean Girls, and it was really funny. I'd like to do Mean Girls one day,
fun
but it would
show.
probably have to be at JCC.
Right, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, I love that show. And I think plays To Kill a Mockingbird would always be fun.
Okay,
I feel like it's got a classic feel to it.
Here's the thing about To Kill a Mockingbird. I'm with you. I think that's a classic play. We've done it twice, and each time we've done it, been very successful. The problem is that the older version of the play is kind of out of date, and there's a new version written by Aaron Sorkin that I'm just like waiting for to become available to actually do, which is a little bit better, a little bit more up to date. And as soon as that becomes available, I will read it. Because
I went and saw it.
Oh yeah, with the Jeff Daniels version.
And it's slightly I don't know, the way the focus is on the characters slightly shifts in the new version. So it's I don't know, they make Calpurnia a much bigger part, but they also, the 3 kids, Dill, Scout, and Jim, are sort of the narrators instead of having a single narrator. But it seems to be a little more Atticus focused.
I was about to say, Atticus gets some great monologues and stuff like that.
And there's a lot more of that, and I think there's a lot more courtroom, if I remember correctly, as opposed to everything that goes on around the courtroom.
Which makes sense because Aaron Sorkin also wrote A Few Good Men, which we've also done.
Just to take it back to Anne of Green Gables, it's gonna be long. I mean, it just is written to be long, and so. It won't be 3 hours long. It won't even be 2.5 hours long. It won't be The Crucible by any stretch of the imagination. But it's going to be a solid 2 hours at least. So people just need to know that. But the first act's longer, second act's shorter. So you're on the short rows when we come back from intermission. But I promise you, it moves. You won't realize how long it is until you stand up. Your butt's numb. But it won't happen.
Good.
Sorry.
Pacing is important. All right.
But yeah.
Thank you to Patsy. Thank you to Karen. Thank you to Kim. Thank you to Ava for sitting down for this podcast. I know we had a couple of start and goes as far as the time. But thank you. You guys open up in a couple of days, and I wish you guys break a leg. I will be here the 19th and the 20th, and I can't wait. So thank you guys so much. Any last things to say?
Just thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Tamara has fun.
Oh, this is one of her favorite books of all time. She knows this book in and out. All right, gang. That's it for a Noose Little podcast. We'll have another episode for you in October, maybe a spooky themed episode. I'm going to talk to Mia about that as soon as we sign off. And I'm Matt Gore, your host, and that's my producer Mita.
So.
All right, we'll talk to you later. Bye.